thank those parents that had the opportunity to go and be there, to just cheering their student and their child on. But we also, Mr. Cardona and I wanted to apologize because there was a miscommunication. Some parents were told that they were not allowed to go, not that they weren't welcome, but that typically they don't go, and they were allowed to. Okay, so I know some parents didn't go because of that miscommunication. Now, we had an equity council that was scheduled to be here February 13th, but due to the wind, we couldn't have it because it was a hazard. So it was canceled and it's now rescheduled, okay? I believe it's on Monday, and then it's also the same time that it was scheduled before from 4:30 to 6, so you're more than welcome to come, okay? And then if it's possible, attend, and then Swaggers will be performing because they were canceled too and they were supposed to perform last time. Okay, and then I wanted to share, because we're so incredibly proud of our students for these, what we call IMASA scores, okay? So it's these here. So our 3rd through 6th grade students take this IMASA, and it's 3 components. One is for reading, one is for language usage, which is your 2nd page, and then the last component is mathematics, okay? And if you look at these scores, they are so impressive, okay? So if you're looking at your orange, that's needs support. Those students that are still struggling a bit with the standards at their grade level, okay? The yellow is the near target, they're almost there. And then finally you have your green, which is your students that are on target, okay? I'll share with you just so we can read it together and you understand it. And then if you have any questions, you can ask, okay? So for example, if we look at reading for 3rd grade, that is that very first 3 bars here. Look how incredible. In the need support, they're less 13. That means that 13 came out of that level, which is great because that's the lowest level. And then from the nearing, 13 kiddos came out of the nearing, and all those 26 kids are now on target. So we were just very, very proud. And if you see, the data continues to show the same. If you look at 4th grade for reading, they did add 7 in the needs, but they were able to move 38 kids out of the needs, the near target, all the way to proficient. And when we talk about 30% students, that's a lot of students, okay? In 5th grade, we were able to remove 14 from the need support, and there was 6 left on the on target, but all the ones that came out of the need support went into the nearing target, okay? So that's typically how it works. And if you flip the pages, like I said, you'll see these scores all across for all grade levels that are tested, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th for those 3 components, okay? We were incredibly impressed by the scores that yesterday we provided the kids with a sundae. Okay, so we invited them to the cafeteria and they were able to build their sundae and have ice cream. They really loved it, they really enjoyed it, and we're hoping that that can be a good incentive for future, because they test the IMASA again at the end of the year in April. Okay, April, May-ish, beginning of May. The other information that I wanted to share with you is what our ice station shows, okay, which is this one here. And this one is a new one that we began to track, and Mr. Cardona and I knew that it was very important to be very transparent and honest with everyone about our scores. So I don't know if you notice, this chart is exactly the one that you see whenever you walk into your right. You'll see that it says rate of improvement, and that's what those colors mean. But then I figured, let me take a little bit of time telling you what the colors mean so you can better understand the chart, okay? So, if you see an NA, it means that in the beginning of the year, no student was at that level. So there was no children to track, okay? What we want to see is moderate growth. Moderate growth means that that child or those children in that class are making at least 1 year's growth. That means that if they're, let's just pretend that there's a 3rd grader that goes into a class, but they're performing at 2nd grade, by the end, they should grow at least 1 year, because they received the 1 year instruction, they should be at 3rd grade leaving, okay? Or the same, if you have a fourth grader that is at fourth grade, whenever they leave, we expect them to be at fifth grade because they've been at school for 1 year, okay? So when we see gray, that means that we are aiming for that year's growth. We are in that path, okay? The blue is incredible. The blue is that in 1 year, they're making more than a year's growth. Okay, that means that if a student comes in at third grade and they are performing at third grade, whenever they leave, they're past fourth. Okay, so that blue is pretty incredible. And then finally, we have our red, which is our low. That means that we are not, it's not sufficient, it's not even the year. Okay, so whenever we look at these charts, it's very obvious to us as administrators that those higher achieving students, the ones that are advanced at those level 5s, those are the ones that we still need to know how to serve a little bit better. Because if you look at our lows, they're mostly to the right, which means, oh, it's those high ones that we're not challenging enough, okay? So know that there is a training coming in from iStation, from the program itself, to teach us teachers how do we better support those high achievers, okay? Because we do a really good job supporting our levels 1 through 4, but those gifted kids, we're struggling a little bit, okay? But like I said, we wanted to be very honest, very transparent. So the teachers are labeled here, okay? And whenever you see 2, those are your dual language partnerships. So for example, if you see Sanchez Arenas, if Sanchez is first on the list, those are the English scores. But if you see Arenas Sanchez, then that in the dual language team, those are the students' Spanish scores, okay? So in the dual and in the transitional, if your child isn't bilingual, we're also getting this rate in that Spanish component, okay? But then, like I said, I think that there's nothing better than you seeing, and if you see something here that you know you want to address or you want to talk to the teacher, how amazing, because there's nothing like informing parents so you can advocate for your child, okay? And then what we do, we also celebrate. So those teachers that have a high rate of improvement throughout or moderate, there is a big wreath that we have. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Ms. Lopez or Dominguez, can one of you bring me the wreath that I have, so I can show them. So we have these, and Ms. Dominguez did them, so they're beautiful. They're these big wreaths, and what we do is for first, second, and third place classroom rate of improvement, that is the award, so they get to keep it all month. And let me tell you, the kids get so excited whenever their class wins that wreath, okay? And then our next one is the consolidation for Loma Linda in between Merino, Gadsden, and Anthony. That's beautiful. Yes, so they get very excited, and so since the rate of improvement is calculated every month we go in, and then we go in there, both Mr. Cardona and I, and we celebrate, and so the kids, good job, and they get really hot.
And they're so happy because the class that got it, Miss, we got it, the one you made, we have it.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous, so you see them.
The kids know.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so what we know so far is that we are still on pause, okay? And that could be a positive, okay? Because at least we don't know for sure we're merging or we're closing, okay? We know that there was a meeting that was scheduled and that was canceled, and at this point it has not been rescheduled. So it wasn't postponed, which is also a good sign for some of us, okay? Just know that before any decisions are made, they did talk about a study, and I don't know if you heard about this study. There's new homes that are being built. So the study is, are we getting retirees in these houses? Because if we are, then that doesn't bring in children, okay? Or is it families with children? What we want is we want families with at least 3 children each, okay? Because in all reality, as I talked to Mr. Cardona, he says that the only way that the merging can stop is if we have more population of kids, of children. If we don't have more kids, we just can't keep it open. Because at the end of the day, the district is looking at numbers. How many kids are in school, okay? And then also remember, and it's very important as a parent, that if the Board of Education of our district, if they do not approve, it won't happen, okay? And I've had some parents come and ask me, well, what can we do about it? How about signatures? What can I do to ensure that it stops? Mr. Dempsey, our superintendent, was here not long ago talking to the staff about that possibility, and that question was asked. So I asked the question for the parents. I said, how about signatures? And it was very intriguing because he did pause, and he said, well, signatures would influence the board. Like it would mean something for them. But then Mr. Cardona did say, but at the end of the day, the board is also looking once again at numbers. But hey, if that's gonna cause a pause in thinking, I would try it if you guys wanted to, okay? And that's because a parent did approach me, how about if we gathered signatures from the community? Okay, so just a thought. And then also, I was at a meeting on Friday, whenever the roof fell off of Gadsden Middle School. I don't know if you heard about that. But in that meeting, I know that there was some questions about the middle school, when will it be demolished, when will it be built? So I have a few dates, okay? So I know, as per Mr. Cardona, if the school is not demolished, students will keep attending Gadsden Middle School. Okay, and then I know that the building plans as to what should the building look like and the design of it, it's gonna be done by the end of this school year, 22-23. Okay, it's planned on being built years 2024 to 2026. So they don't foresee kids going inside the building until the school year. Bienvenida. Until the school year 2026 and 2027. That's when they foresee kids actually going into the new building. Okay? So that's quite some years. Okay? There is an invitation that was sent out through Remind and Facebook, and it's the GISD Parent Institute, and you are invited. It's April 5th, and it's at Gadsden High School. Okay? And any questions? I don't know if I'll have the answer, but I know I'll get back to you once I do. Any questions, concerns? No? And whenever you see your child, especially if they are in one of those where they're getting all those highs and those moderate, or if they're a 3rd through 6th grader, celebrate them. Because those scores, like I said, they were very impressive. Okay. And we do have a presentation for you. So let me go ahead and radio Mr. Taylor. Oh, there you are. I don't have to radio you.
So, I'm sorry,
No, yes,
the Parents Institute, what is that? So
You know what,
I've never been to any of those meetings, so.
Yes, and then let me see, I'll have to pull out from the Facebook the flyer, and let me tell you a little bit of what it says, okay?
Right.
Give me a second.
¿Cómo decía? Que me quedó en mis manos. Dije, no, pues no sé qué sea.
Or let me have the office.
Era bilingüe algo, ¿no?
Crystal. Can you bring me the flyer for the Parent Institute? Do we have that?
Yes, I'm really.
Gracias.
Okay.
And then I'll share this data with you. So they're sending me the flyer ahorita.
Ándale, thank you.
These are our IMASA scores, which is reading, language usage, and math, and then reading.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our performance. This started originally, it was going to be the music club, but then the music club was going to go to the middle school today for a field trip, but they canceled that plan. So, song we're going to do is called Follow the Drinking Gourd, and it is the basis of this particular book right here. It's Black History Month song, and this is one of the ways that we're integrating literature and the arts here at Loma Linda Elementary. And so we've got some music club members and all of the 4th grade class of Loma Linda Elementary. Okay, you ready? And don't forget, sing loud, speak loud. And then, xylophone start. 1, 2, 1, 2, xylophones. That concludes our performance. I know that there'll be a long line for cookies.
Yes. Thank you so much.